The following production is produced by the State University of New York College at Oneonta.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Red Dragon Sports. I'm your host, Geoff Hassard, Assistant Director of Athletics and Sports Information Director here at SUNY Oneonta. And on tonight's show, we finally get to catch up with volleyball as we missed them during the fall season, but we've invited in head coach Colleen Cashman along with a couple of her players to talk about their past season that just finished a couple weeks ago. So please join me after the break where I'll be joined by tonight's first guest, head coach Colleen Cashman.
What makes D3 special is the ability to participate in my team and within the broader community.
The perfect ending to a perfect season.
Being a D3 student athlete has completely expanded my life.
I learned how to lead. I really found a voice.
What time is it?
It's more about the experience rather than just a sport itself.
Without the experience of being a Division III student athlete, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
NCAA Division III. Discover, develop, dedicate.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is head volleyball coach Colleen Cashman. Welcome back to the show, Colleen.
Well, thank you, Geoff.
Well, we didn't get a chance to get you during the regular season, but you did. You had another season where you were kind of building a little bit. You had a lot of young players. You made the SUNY tournament, gave Cortland a run for their money, I would say, because we were one of the few teams that were able to win some sets from them this year. And they're actually in the national quarterfinals right now, right?
They're in the
NCAA
Sweet 16.
tournament.
Yep.
Sweet 16.
Yep, they're in the Sweet 16.
So give us a little recap of the season and how you think that'll be going forward to play and be competitive against those teams this year.
Well, you know, it's we have a competitive schedule, and as the department philosophy, you know, we've always had that strength of schedule going on, and this year, you know, with a returning good core group that had been playing together for 3 years, you know, we really did challenge a lot of those top teams. And with our schedule the way it was, you know, we ended up with our tournaments going 2-2 for 7 of them, you know, which was a step up from last year, which was great. But the strength of schedule that we had played really did prepare us then for those matches against Cortland and New Paltz. And just to see our team, you know, go into those matches, and we hosted the first SUNY round robin, and you know, it was really neat to see that excitement and that desire to really want to beat, you know, Cortland this year. And because I think in you know, last year and the year before, it was kind of not quite there because, you know, every year you come in with a new group and they don't quite understand that rivalry that you have with the other Red Dragon team. Right. But, you know, we played them tough, and, you know, the second SUNY round robin when we were at SUNY Plattsburgh, we had them. We did. I have not ever seen this, the whole season, seen everyone on that floor be so on and ready. And then there was that 30-minute delay with a little mishap that kind of then took the wind out of our sails, I think, and we came back as hard as we could. But you know, when you're playing against a team that, at this point, they've only lost once, and the whole season, and I think they're 41-1 right now. Yeah, which, you know, there's something to be said for that kind of a record and having that confidence that, you know, no matter what, they have that confidence as a team. They're going to go and move ahead, and I was, you know, we're very proud of how we played in our SUNY this year, and you know, making it to the semifinals. It's the first time that we've been there since 2004. So that was pretty exciting, and I know that was our goal, one of our goals as a team this year, was to make it that far. Now,
because you had to beat, you know, the crossover, in volleyball is still one of, I think maybe the only sport that still does an East-West. I think women's tennis just started an East-West division in split. And you have to play those pool play weekends, and you come through, and then sometimes you don't really get to see the other side, the West Division, although we had played Geneseo and we had played Fredonia. And Buffalo State we hadn't seen this year, and we actually played them in the first round of the SUNY tournament. And I mean, is there kind of a balance difference in the two divisions or in the SUNY?
Well, Buff State really came on strong this year.
Right.
Their team was pretty big, actually. Like when they turned it on that third set and started blocking us, we were, it was like trying to see, well, how can we get past that block? And but the first SUNYAC round robin, they were 4-0.
Right.
And then they came into the second one and went 2-2. So they were coming from not making the SUNYAC tournament for the last, I don't even know, five or 6 years, to then being second in their pool play. And so I think for us, we had that experience of going to the SUNYAC championships for the last, 2 or 3 years. And I think that helped us going into it. And I think it also was nice playing Buff State and not having played them before.
Right.
And, we were able to get some game film and was able to scout it and watch it as a team. And I think that really helped in our game plan and what we did going in.
Sometimes in volleyball, is it better to play someone that maybe it didn't play during the year? Because we play so many tournaments, and you could end up playing a team maybe twice or 3 times during a year. I mean, is it better just to not play somebody and then go in fresh?
I think sometimes it is. When you're getting into this aspect of championships, I personally was really happy that we were going in and playing Buffalo State as opposed to Geneseo.
Right.
Because we had lost to Geneseo last year in SUNYAC championships, and there's just that kind of history that goes along with it. And I think throughout the season, when we saw a team that we hadn't seen previously, we really just went out and we played hard. Right. And that's what we did. Yeah,
I thought that, like, when I looked at the final matchups and who we were going to be playing, certainly Buffalo State was a very winnable match, just based on the fact that we hadn't played them. And, I tend to think, just because we're in the East, that the East is a little stronger with Cortland, us, New Paltz, and even Potsdam and Plattsburgh were improved this year. I mean, Potsdam finished with a winning record, and Plattsburgh, I mean, we went 5 sets with them the first time we played them here. I mean, so overall, I think right now, I think the East is a little stronger. I mean, Fredonia is very good. They've had very good run here the last 4 or 5 years, but the typical teams from the West didn't seem to be there this year, Geneseo and Brockport and that kind of stuff. So congratulations for making it that far.
Thank you.
Why don't you talk a little bit about maybe some of the top players on our team? We had 2 all-conference players, Jess Zarega and Casey Boberka for a 3rd time as a junior. What kind of, maybe some of those players and what it means to the program to have all-conference players and as you move along?
Well, I know from a personal standpoint as a player, when you make all conference, it's kind of just that icing on the cake that all of my hard work has paid off. And, I know that Jess, throughout the season and throughout her career, she always had goals every single year, and to make all conference was always one of those goals. And, I mean, she did. She had a phenomenal year, and actually talking to one of my coaching peers this past weekend, he made the comment that, she turned out to be a really great player and a really great libero, and he didn't see that when she was a freshman. And I think that kind of speaks towards how hard she did work to improve herself throughout her 4 years of play.
Right.
And in your all conference write up, I mean, we know second now on the all-time dig list that we have kept since, I think, 1996.
Yeah.
Fortunately, our records don't go back further than that. Yeah. So again, anyone out there, if you know any records, please let us know.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. And then Casey Boberka, I mean, I call her Boomer. I'll probably always call her Boomer. And I think one of the best things, that I like to hear is when she does have that nice hard hit, and the team on the bench, they do their boom. Here comes the boom.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal athlete, and this year if you look from last year's stats to this year's stats, she came in healthy. She was ready to go. She really did have
last year she came into preseason. She was hampered by some foot problems, which kind of set her back. And then by the time she got going, it was already half season. And but this year she had career year in kills, kill percentage. Didn't have a lot of errors.
No.
I mean, she helps us defensively. She can dig them out for us, and she also serves quite well. So I mean, she really a total player for our program for 3 years, and it was great to see her have a healthy year.
Yep.
And hopefully that'll help her, because of course, we know she's also all-conference athlete in track and field as well, and an All-American in indoor track.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to Casey as well to be able to, maybe elevate her game as well. So, I mean, do those types of players in our program, I mean, do they help elevate the rest of the play of some of the players around them?
Absolutely. I mean, if we're in practice and you're on the other side digging against Casey Boberka, I mean, that you're going into a match against Cortland or New Paltz or any of the other top teams in the state. That if you can dig Casey, you can dig anyone. And I think that really does give our defensive group of players a lot of confidence when it comes to our matches. And I think even just defensively, if you look at our team now, that's one of our strengths. We improved upon our dig percentage or digs per set by at least 2 this year, and I think everyone really stepped up. We have that group of starters that was pretty consistent throughout the season, and then we had that younger nucleus of players that came in as freshmen and transfers who really did in practice push each other. And that's where that whole total team comes in. That you really have to understand is that you can't be successful unless everyone is pushing every single day in practice. And we did. We got better as a team. Did we finish as well as we would have liked? No, we didn't. As far as that
unless
record,
you win the national
as far as
championship, I mean, that's really
as far as the record's concerned. But when you look at all those other accomplishments, there were some really great things that happened this year.
Now we talk about you've been here the same amount of time as I have. We came in together 13 years now. During that time, we've had some great players, and I just want to talk a little bit about one in particular, Lacey Musso. She went into our Hall of Fame, and really, so your first player going into our Athletic Hall of Fame. What's that like for you as a coach to know that there was a player that great that could reach that status?
Well, there's just not enough words, I think, to ever say enough about Lacey and what she has done for our program and did for our program in the 4 years that she was here. I think she set the standard by which, not only, setting wise you had to aspire to, but, as an all-around player, I mean, she gave as hard in practice as she did in a match. You never saw any difference. And to have her be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year is just, it's icing on the cake for me. And I know she's just ecstatic when she was told that she had made it in. And, I'm still waiting to see the induction because we were away that weekend. But she was a top-notch player and person. And
and like you said, those kinds of players are the ones who build the blocks and to get you to different points and team-wise as you're trying to build a program. So certainly she was an incredible player. And it's really funny, she went in with another volleyball player back from the late 60s, early 70s. When we say we have no records, I mean we know how teams did, but individually, not really. But another player who played 3 sports, but volleyball was her major sport, and she certainly was very ecstatic to be joined by, I guess you'd say, someone from another generation that she could maybe relate to. I mean, I don't know.
I had never met Christine
Yeah.
at all, and I'd sent out an email to all of the alumni that I had within my database from both my 13 years here and then previous, and saying, hey, this is what's happening, and we have two players being inducted, and I actually only got one response back, but I know that there were other people there to support their teammates, and we're pretty happy. But I would have loved to have met her, and hopefully she'll come up for one of our alumni tournaments now that
I tell you, she was so excited, and she actually donated back to our department a T-shirt from the AIEW national tournament, one of the ones that they went to, because they went to a couple during her time, which is pretty special as well, pre-NCAA days. So we know we've had good volleyball for a long time here. It's one of our oldest sports female-wise, even pre-Title IX when they were starting some of the basketball and softball and stuff. I mean, so it's great to see the growth of a program, as you say, I mean, through the generations. I mean, from Christine Fitzpatrick to Lacey Musso to, we got a couple coming on tonight, Erica Darpino and Christina Fabiocci and Jess Sarega and Casey Luberka. I mean, these are names that will live on in our records because they're just such fabulous players. So, so as we close up here, I mean, certainly, we want to thank you for coming by, and we're glad you had another great season. And of course, I know your goals are always to get to the SUNY.
The goal is always to win the SUNYACs, and that'll never change.
Well, so we certainly hope that as you go through next year in your recruiting season here, we certainly wish you good luck and hope you bring in some more players like a Lacey Musso or a Casey Boberka to help you get to that next point.
And we will certainly do that.
Yep.
Certainly do that. Thanks, Geoff.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for coming by. I'd like to thank head coach volleyball Colleen Cashman for coming by tonight. And after the break, We'll be joined in studio by sophomore Erica Darpino.
Danny, thank you for coming. I've been meaning to talk to you for a while. It's about us. I can't be with you any longer. I know you really like me, and I like you too, but it's just too much for me. It's like you always have to be around me. Like when I ask if you want to go for a walk with me, you get so overexcited. Maybe it was a bad idea to move in together. It's my fault, not yours. I was just so excited to be with you, I didn't realize I wasn't ready. You're a good dog. I know you'll find someone great.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is volleyball player, sophomore Erica Darpino. Welcome to the show, Erica.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Erica Darpino. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Endicott, New York, which is just outside of Binghamton. I'm a bio major, planning on going into education.
Okay, so have you gotten into any of your education classes yet?
I took them first semester, but then it was really tough to do them both at the same time with volleyball, so I'm probably just going to end up getting my master's in education.
Okay. Biology. Why are you interested in biology?
I like science more than I like reading.
So the sciences, biology in high school, that was your, chemistry, biology, those kinds of things?
I really liked my chem teacher and my bio teacher too, so.
Well, that's good. High school teachers can really have an influence on kids when they decide to pick their majors, do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, what about chemistry and biology really that, maybe interested enough to say, oh, I want to major in that, maybe be a teacher someday?
I really like the health aspect of bio, like the human part and all of that, so I like that. But we never really learned, or I don't remember learning that much about plants and animals as much. We definitely did, but we're getting into that more in my bio class now, and I like that too, so like a broad range of that.
Well, certainly I hope you, because as you get through, I know that the education classes and things, and the classes do get a little more difficult as you move along. But sophomore year, certainly a transition from high school as a freshman, and then now this sophomore year. What kind of a transition? This year you had a great year. You had a career best and everything. You kind of had that breakout season that maybe most coaches, I'm sure Coach Cashman would say the same thing. When you get to that sophomore year, you want to start to see some growth and improvement in some of your players, and certainly I know that was your case this year. Transition from being a freshman to a sophomore. What kind of a transition do you think that was for you?
You just know what's going on. As a freshman, everything was new, and if something wasn't explained, then I didn't know what it was or how to do it, and now it was the second time around it was easier, and I knew what I should do and shouldn't do.
So the experience, you think, even just from 1 year, made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now, as far as off-season conditioning and the programs that you're involved in as a team, why don't you talk a little bit about how you think that impacts your improvement, how you did this year?
We get a summer workout, and I'm not going to lie, freshman year I didn't do it. I was like, oh, I don't need this, whatever, and then realized when I got here, you totally need to do that. So this summer I did every day the workout, what we were supposed to do, and it had an impact, I guess.
Well, I think probably most kids from high school, because in high school you probably don't do a lot of that kind of thing, lifting and all the things that we do here. So probably you would say, hey, freshman year, I'm okay, I'm going to be. So the importance of being fit, doing the workouts, you found that was very beneficial to you in the season you had.
Yes, very.
Now you play middle hitter for us.
Yep.
And differences, because there's outside hitters, right sides, there's liberos and all that kind of stuff. What were you an outside hitter? Is that the position you've always played?
In high school, I was a setter. Yeah.
Wow.
And then they brought me in as an outside hitter. But I had played middle and club, so I was kind of just thrown all over the place. But now I've solidified the middle spot.
Yeah.
It's way more tiring than the outside because you're constantly moving to block, so that has an impact. I like hitting on the outside better, though. It's funner.
Okay. Now, you led our team in blocks this year, overall blocks. I think you had about 130, which is quite a significant amount of blocks. Like you said, you have to go from side to side. Endurance, volleyball, a lot of people don't look at volleyball as an endurance sport.
Right.
But you're saying that you really do need to.
Yeah. And not as much I don't have to be able to run miles and miles, but to do fast things a lot in a row with not necessarily a break.
Okay, so you're saying repeated quick type movements, jumping, sliding, and all that, almost like basketball. More so like that. Somebody who's maybe a front court player, forward jumping. Oh, interesting. Now, as far as your sophomore year here, the team, I mean, we made the SUNY tournament. We advanced into the semifinals, and certainly, we mentioned to Coach Cashman that we certainly gave Cortland not too many people took any sets from them this year, and we certainly, did that. Do you think going forward, because we're going to graduate 3 players, I believe, and we got a very good nucleus coming back. I mean, how do you think that bodes for next season?
I think if everyone continues to improve like they have been, then we definitely have a shot. But all the other teams are also looking very good too. So
right. I mean,
it'll be tough.
The SUNY, we were talking about the SUNY East Division, which is the one we're in with Cortland, New Paltz. It seems like right now it's kind of like that's the stronger side. So when we play our pool play weekends, I mean, we're playing 4 good teams.
Right.
Back to back. We play 2 each day. And do you enjoy playing those pool play weekends? Do you think would you rather play the teams in the West during the year and not so much the East for 2 weekends?
I think that would definitely impact it. I think more teams from the East would be in.
Right.
Because we played Geneseo and Fredonia and Buff State, and we gave them a run for their money. I think all the other teams in the East could too. Right.
Now, academically, you said a biology major, and you're hoping to become a teacher. Anything else when you were being recruited? We got about a minute left here. What else about Oneonta said I really want to go to Oneonta?
It's close enough to home, but far enough away that I'm separated. Yeah. And I really like the size of it. How I could bring up a name and somebody I'm talking to might know who that is. Whereas in a bigger school, that chance is smaller.
Right. Now the campus itself, facilities. I mean, of course, we play in a great gym.
Right.
It's very great size, and it's a beautiful arena. Anything going? So next year, you're just looking forward. Do you look at yourself as a team leader now? Sophomore going into junior year, maybe?
Definitely more so than last year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that because of the experience or just because now you kind of know what's going on?
I think both, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we certainly look forward to having another great year next year. We certainly hope you'll stay healthy and keep working out so that you'll be able to lead some of those younger players as we go forward with our program. Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Erica Darpino for coming by this evening. And after the break, we'll talk 4 years of volleyball with senior Christina Fabiocci.
WUOW 104.7 FM is the region's premier radio station, offering award-winning programming from National Public Radio and Pacifica Radio networks, giving you the chance to become more informed about the arts, information, and entertainment from around the country and around the world. WUOW is your community radio station. Join us and support the sound.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is senior volleyball player Christina Fabiocci. Welcome, Christine.
Hello. Hi. Thank you.
You got to be on the show last year, so this is like a repeat performance for you. And it's very excited to have you back. And certainly now, I guess we can talk about a cumulative 4-year career. Last year we were talking about your junior season and some of the expectations you had.
Right.
As you look back now in your 4 years of volleyball here, I mean, talk a little bit about the memories and some of the things that you'll take from here.
It's a lot.
I mean, we've had four good years. I mean, you've been you've been a leader for our team, captain, all-conference player. I mean, you certainly have been one of our good players. What stands out about this season?
I guess this season, just realizing that it was the last one I'd ever play at Oneonta was sad, but it made everyone push more, and I think it made it even more special that it would be the last volleyball experience that I would have here. Now, when you think about the season, of course we had Jess Zarega, senior, and our third senior is Stephanie Holt. You guys came in together as freshmen. What's that like to be able to play with some players more than, for a full career, because all 3 years were 4-year players for us. It's been awesome seeing the growth and that we all get along so well. Even now, you know, we're always usually on the same page with everything, and just to see us play together for the last time was like special since we've been together for so long.
Right. Now, Coach Cashman, just talk about, you know, the program as a whole with Coach Cashman and your experience with her during the 4 years.
It's been a great 4 years, and I don't think I would have gotten this experience at any other school with anyone else. Coach expects a lot from us, but she really still instills the love of the game in all of us, right, which I think is important not to lose. So it's been great. Because
the volleyball program, certainly you ladies are involved in so many different things. I mean, it is volleyball when it's time for volleyball, mm-hmm, but it's certainly, you know, the classwork and the community service that we do, and all the things that we do within the department to try and, you know, expand your horizons a little, mm-hmm, bit, so when you go out there and get a job, you know, you feel like you've had a full experience. I mean, can you talk maybe a little bit about your academic career here? You're majoring in?
Biology.
Biology, yeah, another biology major.
Yep.
Now, are you looking to get into education?
No. I'm going to grad school for physical therapy, possibly, most likely at Sage Graduate School in Troy. I got in there, and I'm still applying to some state schools, hopefully for a cheaper alternative than a private school. But being a bio major here is tough. It's an excellent major for anyone who wants to go into it. The department's awesome. Working labs around practice times can be challenging, but it's definitely doable. You just have to have good time management and make sure you get everything done when you're supposed to. So.
Now, physical therapy, that's quite a field to get into. What interests you there? Why physical therapy?
I just love working with people, but not in a education. I mean, it's still teaching people, but right, I like working with the body and helping people regain strength and just making them feel better and be able to move and do things that they used to be able to do without pain, hopefully, is the end goal. So.
Right. Now, of course, the off-season conditioning programs that, you know, the volleyball programs involved, mm-hmm, in, I mean, those kinds of things, I mean, do you think that'll help you as you move towards physical therapy?
Yeah, doing workouts and everything has definitely gave me a better understanding of the muscles, how the body works, and everything like that. And I think that's what sparked my interest in the body, is because I've been working out for volleyball for a long time. So it's something that was always a big part of my life. So.
Now, another aspect, community service. I know that certainly the volleyball program does a lot of stuff during, mm-hmm, you know, during the year and throughout, you know, clinics and camps and, right, you know, doing the Relay for Life and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Any of those experiences, you know, what will you take away from those kinds of experiences?
It's just great to give back to the community as a team, and everyone in the community sees that, you know, the volleyball team is out there helping out. So it's, you know, gives a good reputation for our program, and it's awesome to help out and give back to the community. We've done Relay for Life, the Into the Streets program, Kids in Sports Day, which is really fun, teaching kids how to play volleyball. So it's a good time being able to help people.
Now, do you see yourself continuing in the continuing to play volleyball recreationally, or?
I hope so.
I mean, do you think you'd like to possibly fit in some coaching? I mean, would you like to be a coach?
I don't think coaching is in my future. It's not my favorite thing. Too stressful. I'd rather be on the court playing. So right, I definitely want to play intramurals or beach over the summer and stuff like that. It'll be an adjustment not to be so competitive anymore, right, and just playing for fun.
Right, and part of a team where, mm-hmm, you're playing for one goal and all that.
Right.
Kind of stuff. As we close up here, is there one thing maybe you can point to for your career, total career at Oneonta, that you might say to a prospective student athlete about, you know, why come to Oneonta?
I wouldn't have chosen any other school. I'm very thankful that I chose to come here. Especially with the volleyball program, I've gotten to experience so many things that I don't think I would have other places. We've traveled all over the country. We've gotten to do all the community service events. I've gotten an excellent education, and it's prepared me for graduate school. So I love it here. So.
Well, good. And we certainly are glad that you came, and we certainly enjoyed watching your 4-year career, because you certainly were one of our top players. And, you know, don't be a stranger, and we hope that, you know, once you graduate, you'll come back and see us. So thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'd like to thank all my guests tonight, senior Christina Fabiocci, sophomore Erica Darpino, and head volleyball coach Colleen Cashman. We'd also like to remind you that now we're kind of into our winter season here at Oneonta, and we want to remind you that you can get all the latest scores and news on our website, www.oneontaathletics.com. While you can also become a fan of our Facebook page and also follow us on Twitter. So we'd like to thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time on Inside Red Dragon Sports.